Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Joe Fame coming back at you with a new video. This one is going to be for absolute beginners, DJs that never touch a piece of DJ gear in their life. They want to learn, they got their brand new setup, or they just are interested in what it's like to be a DJ and how to learn it. This is part one of my series where we're going to go over the functions and how to get started to be a DJ. So if you're a newbie and you're trying to get into how to learn how to be a DJ, this one's for you. So stay tuned right after the intro and we're going to dive right into it. Welcome back, everybody. So did you just buy a new piece of gear that you're learning to learn how to DJ on? You just unboxed it, you have no clue what anything is. We're going to dive into it. Now here's the thing, there's so many different ways you could DJ, from a controller of all different sizes, even a small guy like this, which is a new DJ to go. This is really something different, so I would recommend, if you haven't had a setup or you're thinking about buying a setup, start with like an SB3 or an SR. Something in a little lower budget will get you started. This is really low budget, but this is more like to go and for other purposes. But you can still even learn on this if you really on a tight budget. And I will put links in the bottom if you're curious on where to get stuff like this. But I'm going to show you stuff on my Denon Prime 4, which is one of my setups. I've done everything from using, this is my new setup. So I learned on turntables, so just a little bit about myself. I learned on turntables, little belt drives. Started when I was young. Didn't know anything about DJing. The internet wasn't really around, so I had to learn everything from scratch. I broke my first pair of turntables after saving up for 2 years to get them when I was like 12 years old. Didn't know the difference between belt drive and direct drive. That's a whole nother topic for a different video. But most people are learning on DJ controllers nowadays, like a Pioneer SB3 or something similar that functions. And when people see bigger setups, they get more antsy. So I'm first gonna go into what it's like, to DJ before we get into the functions, how to learn. Think of it as any other instrument. When you first pick up an instrument, no matter if it's a guitar, a drum set, now you're gonna see those low budgets things, but you could still learn the function on it. So for example, I have a Shaky guitar. Granted, this is probably like a mid-internet, guitar. It's, around like $300, I think, maybe $300-400. And you could start off on like a Squire or something, and it's a lot cheaper. But it doesn't matter what gear you really start on, as long as you get started on. And then when they say the instrument, you want to get something that you're gonna want to pick up and play. It's kind of the same thing with DJing. You kind of want to pick up something that's gonna inspire you to actually want to learn how to DJ. But you don't need all the bells and whistles to get started on how to DJ. You just need to know the main functions of how to DJ and learn how to get around a board. Every board is basically laid out similar. Every mixer you get, once you learn the main basics, you can basically hop on anything. So for example, when I was growing up, I DJ'd on everything. I DJ'd with cassette tapes. So if you guys know what cassette tapes were, they were like little tapes that we put in our little tape decks, and we would have to hit play and record to like record songs off the radio and make little mixtapes. That's how long I've been doing it for. I had to try to mix 2 CD cassette tapes and a little mixer, just try to blend those two, and that's the hardest thing in the world. I also use a DVD player and a CDJ, so I've DJ'd every possible way, from having really nothing to having new gear. So you can still learn on that, but now we're in new technologies. You don't have to worry about that nowadays. You get yourself a cheap controller and you're good to go. So we're just gonna dive right into all these features that you need to know right off the bat. So right here we got the Denon Prime 4, brand new standalone unit. As you can see, there's a lot of bells and whistles. You're probably like, what are all these buttons do? Do I need all these buttons? Yeah, honestly, you don't. But when you learn over time and you learn different tricks, it comes very handy, and you're gonna love units like this more and more. But we're gonna dive into the main function of what you need to know right off the bat. The first thing you need to know is your crossfader. To go from one side to another side, so you can blend the 2 songs together. These are also your up faders, which is basically like your volume faders, which you can still blend this way as well. You can keep the crossfader in the middle if you like, and you can still blend songs by just the volume faders. These right here is your main functions that you're gonna need to know right in the beginning. Also, your pitch fader, which will adjust the speed of a song from fast to slow, and usually when it locks in the middle, it just indicates that it's back to presets. So those are your main functions you have to know. Obviously, you got your high, mid, and low EQs, which you will learn more over time. So when you first start out, even though you may get a little bit of muddy sound, you can keep everything right at 12 o'clock just to get started, just so you're not messing around with adjusting volumes. Your main focus when you first start is learning how to beat match songs. So the first thing I recommend, whatever software you chose first, if you chose a Serato controller, a record box controller, Tractor controller, even the Denon Prime or any of the Denon series that has their own engine prime, whatever controller and software you decide, learn it. Learn that software. I know how to use every single software, but just learn the one that you have. Even if you have virtual DJ, whatever you have, learn that software. Learn how to put the songs onto your computer. That's the first thing you gotta do. Get songs, put them on your computer, let the software you use analyze the folders, hopefully give you a decent beat per minute and beat grids, which is the beat per minutes right here. As you can see, each song can range just 128 beat per minute, which is a common BPM for EDM house tracks, which is a good way to start. So what I recommend is, after you analyze your tracks, try to find something that has the same exact beat per minutes. So for example, this track right here is 128 with a key of 9A. Find 2 to 4 tracks. This is my tip to you. Find 2 to 4 tracks in the same exact key and in the same exact beat per minutes, and master those 4 tracks. And what I mean by master those 4 tracks, I mean mastering how to beat match those 4 tracks. We're gonna dive into a track. I have my crossfader set to the middle so it could play no matter which one, and I have my up faders up so you can hear the track. It's gonna be coming through my Yamaha SH8 speaker. You can use any monitor speaker you have. You can use computer speakers. You can just use your headphones. But definitely what I recommend is having an out speaker so you can hear it, and then you can see how it sounds when you actually physically blend your tracks together. But whatever you decide to use, you could use really anything. Most controllers are either RCA outputs, so like computer speakers, something like that unit, or if you get an upscale unit like this, you'll have XLRs, so you'll connect to a wider range of different speakers. So that's what I would have to recommend when it comes to that. Once you find your first 2 tracks, your main thing is you want to be able to match them up, and that's why I recommend starting on the same exact beat per minutes and the key, so you don't have to worry about the key function and the beat per minutes. It's already set to the same exact. Now there is a button called a sync button, which every DJ can make fun of you for, but there's many different uses of the sync button. If I ever use the sync button, it's basically to adjust the beat per minutes on the spot. So if I'm like, I don't know, if I'm in a beat per minutes of 125 and I want to get to 128 really without using my fader, or for example my fader is having like issues, I could just hit that sync button to get that beat per minutes set to where I need it to be. That's what I use the sync button for, if I ever do use it. But there's other ways to do it, but it doesn't help you with DJing. It doesn't make the mix for you. You still have to mix. You still have to know when a beat is on beat. So when you play a track, lower that a little bit, you'll see the wave formats going. And your cue is you want to match the 2 beats together. Usually you count, which is the best way, especially a song like this, which is a 4/4 beat. So you hear the kick, and you hear the snare. Kick, snare. So you got your kick right here, and your snare right here. Those are kind of like your guidelines to help you beat match. Your main thing is to try to land on that kick. So when you have that, you want to get another track to line up. So if I just hit play randomly, it's all off. It's a mess. So the goal is, you want to get it lined up. Counting like this can help you in the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Till you really get it to line up. See how wrong and messed up that is? That's when you're messing up your key in a whole different way. You don't want to do that. So when you count, you want to count on beat and not count sloppy like I was just doing. You want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So now you have them all on the same beat a little bit. And then sometimes you have to adjust it. That's what this pitch bend is for on the platter. Sometimes it may be off by a little bit. And that's when you want to adjust it, just so the beats match. And then there's part of the songs that you want to fade down when you blend into another song. But the main purpose of this is you want to find, like I said, 4 songs, 2 to 4 songs with the same beat per minute and learn how to get them on the beat at the same time. So for example, if I did it at the same time, 1. Still a little off. A little nudge. You're on. This is when you have your cues drop out a beat, so you hear more of the other beat. The effects you won't need to know right away. That's just a filter effect. You don't have to worry about filter effects. So that's just a little bit about when it comes to beat matching, and is honestly your main focus, like I said, that you need to worry about is getting a song that has the same beat per minute and lining them up. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes your hands aren't quick enough. I'm holding the camera while doing this, so it's not as ideal as it's supposed to be. That's why this platter helps you get back on beat. If you feel yourself sliding off, you use this. So this is just part 1 of my series to getting started how to DJ. So the first thing, like I said, this is part 1, is your basic. This is taking the controller out of the box, learning the functions. Know your crossfader. Your left will go to play your left side of the deck. Your right will go to your right. You got your faders to control the volume up and down. And then the pitch fade, which don't even touch yet. We'll get into more videos about the pitch fade and how to use that to get on beat. But what you really need to learn is start with that. Once you can figure out a same beat per minute, say if it's 128 in the same key, I recommend starting with 128. It's a little bit more easy because it's 4 on the floor. Learn how to beat match that. Once you learn how to do that, then try different BPMs. So then find a song in 100 BPMs and then do 4 songs in the same of 100 BPMs with the same key and try to match those beats. And then you'll hear different things, because then it could get trickier when it comes to bass lines, and if it's in the wrong key, it can make the song sound not so great. That's why I say choose a song in the same key, same beat per minute, especially if it has a beat, even if it just has an intro. Just use that intro, that kick, that snare, that kick, that snare. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the things you want to know. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You'll hear that in anything when you learn like drums, when you learn anything. Basically, it's kind of like playing the drums. You want to get it on key, and that's your main thing. So when you first take something out of that box, get those songs. If you have a DJ pool, if you have like BPM Supreme, or wherever you're getting your music from, try to find songs that are very similar. Analyze them if you're using Serato, Record Box, Tractor, Denon Prime Engine, whatever you're using. Analyze your tracks. Get those keys, because if you don't know the keys that you're in, you'll get a good idea with those. They're pretty accurate on the most part, especially Serato. So if you have Serato, analyze the tracks, get that BPM, get that key. If it's 9A, 12A, 11B, whatever it says, try to match 4 tracks with the same exact way at that same BPM, and learn how to go with those 4 and mix them different ways. So you can have the 1, 2, and you can be like, okay, these are perfect. Now throw in a different song with that 1, 3, and then the 4th, and then just keep bouncing around between the 4 tracks and see how the different sounds. Listen, DJing is the one thing is about listening and using your ears is the #1 tool, and this is a good tool to use to just build up your ear techniques, because every drum pattern is different. There's different percussions that'll make drums sound different, and you'll hear how differently they sound when you mix different tracks together. So this is what I want you guys to do when you first get started. So I hope you guys like this video. If you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, if this helped you out. But I think this is a great way to start jumping in to learn how to DJ. Master 4 songs and how to beat match them before you learn anything else. Just like when you pick up a guitar and they tell you learn 2 to 3 chords at the same time, just so you can master those 3 chords before you move on to anything else. Same thing when it comes to DJing. So I really hope this helps, And I hope to see you guys in the next video. So once again, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.